Breaking news today.
Please subscribe and then check notification box to get all breaking news alerts.
In order to illegally gain access to glorious benefits and welfare, a group of migrants stormed a coastline, hoping to force military officials to rescue them. However, as soon as they spotted what was in the water with them, they realized that nothing could save them from the hellish nightmare that approached. As leftists opened the West to unvetted migrants, nearly all of whom are Muslim men from oppressive Sharia nations, liberal politicians desperately strive to conceal the violence and intolerance their new guests bring with them. Millions of devout Islamists with no education, skills, or desire to positively contribute to society protest and buck our values and laws as a veritably powerful minority. While leftists condemn those who have reservations about welcoming in millions of able-bodied men from nations that edify religious supremacy, they have rung the proverbial dinner bell, signaling even the most dangerous of migrants that our borders are open for infiltration. Unfortunately, this open borders alarm is also directly prompting desperate asylum seekers to risk their lives and the lives of the few innocent children dragged along on the perilous trek. The Daily Mail reports that while crossing the Mediterranean from Africa to Italy, an estimated 31 illegal Libyan migrants have been gruesomely eaten alive by a swarm of sharks off the coast of Tripoli. The horrific details were confirmed by the Libyan Coast Guard, which arrived just moments after the hellish feeding frenzy occurred. The mutilated bodies of 18 women and 3 minors were recovered from the sea as the Coast Guard described large blue sharks still circling some of the half-eaten corpses. At least 40 people are still missing and are thought to have been attacked by the monstrous sharks or possibly drowned after the migrant boat was capsized. When we arrived in the area, off the town of Garibaldi, one dinghy was semi-submerged and still had 44 people clinging onto it, whom we saved, Libyan patrol boat commander Nasser al-Gamaudi told Italian newspaper Il Giorno. There were lots of bodies all around and we saw there were 4 or 5 sharks swimming among them, large blue sharks, a very aggressive species. Although some of the migrants were rescued, most of whom are men, the mangled bodies of only women and children were reportedly recovered, drawing skeptics to suspect that the men may have forced the more vulnerable passengers off the sinking ship. When we brought the bodies on board we noticed that some of them had been bitten, so it's possible that among the missing some may have been eaten, Al-Gamaudi said. When we arrived at the spot, we found an inflatable dinghy with several people clinging to part of it. We looked for other survivors for more than 5 hours. We were able to rescue one woman after we heard her shouts. Only hours later, the Coast Guard rescued another 400 people who were attempting to cross the harsh Mediterranean waters for Italy and Greece. Roughly 1,500 illegal immigrants hailing from Somalia, Ghana, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and even Pakistan, all non-refugee countries, were saved over the weekend. Although a total of around 200 migrants were rescued from 2 boats, the testimony from the Coast Guard paints a gory reality in the political left's encouragement of illegal crossing from North Africa to Europe. Of course, liberals have maintained that asylum seekers are war-torn refugees, unaccompanied minors, and even widows and orphans, often calling the infiltrating masses Syrian refugees. However, the statistics prove otherwise. As of January 2017, only 10% of Mediterranean Sea arrivals are from Syria and 4% are from Iraq, according to the United Nations. The rest are from non-refugee nations using the refugee crisis to send thousands to Europe for welfare and benefits. A whopping 70% of migrants are men, which is actually the lowest estimate since the beginning of the refugee crisis. Of course, European countries are constantly confirming that even the majority of child refugees are men posing as minors, making the lowball estimation possibly much higher. Even more shocking are the left's proclaimed contributions to society that the hordes of mostly Muslim migrants bring. Denmark has seen a 232% increase in rapes since liberals began welcoming in refugees in 2015. In Sweden, 1 in 4 women will be raped as Muslims represent as much as 77% of rape cases in the country. Only 4 out of 2,429 refugees in the Dutch city of Rotterdam are employed full-time, and a whopping 95% is on welfare. Thanks to leftists, Europe is not only sealing its fate to become just like the oppressed, violent Sharia-governed worlds it adores, it has blood on its hands as it encourages millions of desperate foreigners to resort to illegal life-threatening tactics instead of going through the immigration process legally. Share the story and leave a comment by clicking one of the buttons below. Follow us on Facebook at Mad World News.